Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kero, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Dr Richard Davis.
Ia tau iho mamana ki tanga ki runga ki tēnā o tātou. E hōnore he kuroria he wau ngārongo ki runga ki te mata o te whenua. E whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Aro haina ngā teina me ngā tuakana i noho nei rungi te whakaaro kutahi pai mai.
Please be seated. E ngā mana e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā haue whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou. Nau mai hara mai ki te whare kāwana. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Government House for this morning's investiture ceremony. I specifically acknowledge Joe Harawira, our Government House kaumātua, and Puhi Wahine Tibble, our Government House kuia. Dr Davis and I are delighted that we could host you here in person. It's a special day for recipients, for your friends and your families. As Governor-General, I have the immense privilege on behalf of Her Majesty, the Queen of New Zealand, to confer the honours to which you are each entitled. It's a very special thing to bring together such a diverse and extraordinary group of New Zealanders. Some of you have achieved national and international renown, while others are pillars within your communities, dedicating your lives to serving others. What you share is the positive impact that you've had on Aotearoa New Zealand. You've brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to our country. And for those things, I thank you. Today's recipients also share that defining New Zealand quality, the belief that anything is possible. And it's that strength of belief, that drive that brought you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, after each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join me in thanking and congratulating them for their service to our country. Ms. Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Dame Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dame Hinewehe Mohi of Havelock North for services to Māori music and television. Dame Hinewehe Mohi, Ngāti Kahungunu Ngāti Nai Tūhoi, has contributed to music, television production, charity work and advocacy for te reo and tikanga Māori. Dame Hinewehe sang the New Zealand national anthem in Māori at the 1999 Rugby World Cup in Twickenham. It It was the first time this had been done at an international rugby match, leading into the now customary practice of singing the anthem in both Te Reo Māori and English at events of national significance. She co-founded the Rokatori Music Therapy Centre, RMTC, in 2004 for people with disabilities. RMTC now has more than 500 people receiving music therapy each week in its 3 centres in Auckland, Whangarei and Hawke's Bay. As a prolific television producer, she created television and digital content for mainstream and Māori programming, celebrating Te Ao Māori. Her shows have received or been nominated for several television awards. In 2019, she produced the Waiata Anthems album, supporting well-known musicians to re-record their hit songs in Te Reo Māori. It debuted at number 1 on the New Zealand Top 40 chart and achieved gold record sales. Dame Hinewehi continues to support the growth of Māori music in her role at the Australasian Performing Rights Association, or APRA, promoting Waiata Reo Māori and the development of a bilingual music industry in Aotearoa. Dame Hinewehi Mohi, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, the late Mr. Dave Cull of Dunedin, for services to local government. Mr. Dave Cull was a councillor and later Mayor of Dunedin City Council. As Mayor, he implemented a plan for restructuring council-controlled organisations, improved the financial state of the city, and placed openness and transparency at the forefront of democratic process. He instigated work in heritage reuse, digital excellence, and sustainable urbanism. He built strong sister city relationships with Edinburgh and Shanghai and supported United Nations initiatives to build international cultural links and support sustainable development. He supported Dunedin's bid to become a UNESCO City of Literature and contributed to the UN's Creative Cities Network. Mr. Cull served as President of Local Government New Zealand, Vice Chair of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, Co-President of United Cities and Local Governments Asia Pacific, and Chair of the Southern District Health Board. Mr. Dave Cull's insignia will be received by Joan Wilson. Please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mrs. Catherine Cooney of Rotorua, for services to health and the community. Catherine Cooney was Director of Nursing and Midwifery and then Chief Executive of the Lakes District Health Board. She chairs the boards of Interai New Zealand and Toi Ohomai Institute of Technology. She facilitates national workforce planning for the Kaiawhina Centre and Support Workforce. She is a Health Practitioners Disciplinary Tribunal member, a Foundation Fellow and Censor of College of Nurses Aotearoa, a Fellow and National Council Treasurer of the Australasian College of Health Service Management, Aotearoa, and co-chair of Healthy Families, Rotorua. Mrs. Cooney is a Rotorua District Presbyterian Church elder and volunteered as a midwife and community development nurse in Kiribati and public health nurse in Hokianga. Mrs. Catherine Cooney, please come forward. Mrs. Margaret Hopkins of Stewart Island for services to conservation and the community. Margaret Hopkins has been a member of the Stewart Island County Council, Southland Conservation Board, Stewart Island Promotion Association, and Stewart Island Community Centre Trust. She chaired the Stewart Island Community Board and the Stewart Island Rakiura Community Environment Trust. As a member of the New Zealand Conservation Authority, she helped develop Rakiura National Park. She is chair of Rakiura Heritage Centre Trust and was involved with construction of Stewart Island's Heritage Centre. She volunteered with Half Moon Bay Museum. She helped establish the Ulva Island Marine Reserve and Patterson Inlet, Mataitai. Mrs. Hopkins has been involved with Leadership Academy, established to develop the leadership potential of Stewart Island residents. Mrs. Margaret Hopkins, please come forward. Mrs. Colleen Lyons of Dunedin for services to netball and education. Colleen Lyons has been involved in playing, umpiring, coaching, managing, and governance of netball since 1965. She was Honorary Secretary of the Otago Netball Union Association and a Netball Otago Board member. She's a Dunedin Netball Board member and former chair. She's a trustee on the board of the Indoor Sport and Recreation Edgar Centre. She was a teacher, head of department, and assistant principal at Queen's High School, and has been heavily involved with the Ex-Girls Association. Mrs. Lyons helped develop careers and transition education in New Zealand, led the introduction of school-to-work transition programs, and developed initiatives such as the National Certificate in Early Childhood. Mrs. Colleen Lyons, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mr. Ken Trinder of New Plymouth, for services to Māori and the community. Ken Trinder has been active with his hapu, Pukitapu and Pukirangiora of Te Atiawa since 1974. He is chair of Muru Raupatu Marae. He practices and has advised many institutions on Te Toi Whakairo, the art of carving. He is a member of the Kaumatua Konehera o Nai Whare Tauanga o Pukeariki, advising the museum on Taranaki tikanga and kawa. He is a hapu kaitiaki and monitor of historic sites. He was volunteer caterer for Taranaki Land Search and Rescue. He's been involved with rugby league as a player, trainer, coach, selector, manager and referee. Mr. Ken Trinder, please come forward. Mr. Gordon Wu of Wellington for services to the Chinese community. Gordon Wu was president of the Tungjiang Association, founded in 1926 to help new arrivals from the Tonggun and Jiangshan counties of Guangdong, China, settle in New Zealand and provide cultural and social activities. He's a member of the Chinese Anglican Mission Church and supports the Wellington Chinese Sports and Cultural Centre. He has supported growth of the Oriental Cultural and Performing Arts Group and is a committee member of the Wellington Chinese Association. Through his knowledge of Chinese early settlers, Mr. Wu has helped people reconnect with the genealogy and has helped produce several books. Mr. Gordon Wu, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
Kia ora anō. Our honours system is New Zealand's highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, commitment, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. Recipients of these honours embody something else that's quintessential to Aotearoa New Zealand, and that is our diversity, our differences of backgrounds, our views, experience and skills that ultimately bind us and strengthen us. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear of your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. Your actions and the way that you've led your lives reflect the spirit of the words of John Wesley. Do all the good that you can, by all the means that you can, in all the ways that you can, in all the places that you can, and at all the times that you can, to all the people that you can, as long as ever you can. I urge you to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that your contributions are recognised and valued, and that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the Queen of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements and I thank you once again to your service for our country. Kia ora koutou I huhi mai nei tai tātou I tēnei ata. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude the formal part of today's ceremony, I invite you to stand and join with me in singing our national anthem in te reo and in English. The words are on the back of your program, but perhaps Henewehe, Dame Henewehe Mohi, would you like to join me on the stage to support this?